Alright, here we go. So, until Alpha figures out what the problem with this internet is, so we're gonna start out. We're here in Marin and Terran's house. They have kidnapped us from the beach. And taken our shield. They give it back, but... now we're gonna go collect our lost property down at the beach. Nice, lovely, pointy stick. Yeah, how you doing, Mighty? We're gonna push these spinies out of the way. And do a little bit of a damage boost off that spiny there in order to get the sword early, just like Spice did. And here's the owl. We hate the owl. Because the owl just talks and talks and talks. So now, we're going to be killing a bunch of the spinies, and we're going to be trying to get 10 rupees using a trick called rupee duping. Which is to say that Link and his sword and his shield have different hitboxes, and Alpha's back! Yay! Well, sort of back. So it looks like Xander getting really good luck. He is picking up the rupee with 2 hitboxes instead of just the 1, so he gets 2 for the price of 1. Both of our runners getting really good luck, but
that's good.
Xander, of course, pulling it away by getting 2 rupees in the bushes. Welcome back, sir. How are you?
It's good. The skies just opened up and cancelled internet for a little bit.
Nah, Zeus. He doesn't want a race to go on. So, while you were gone... there we go. While you were gone, our boys here decided to go steal from a shop and get electrocuted.
Oh, that's not fun.
No,
dying doesn't seem like a fun activity.
No, you might want to ask your internet about that.
I mean, with the amount of abuse and yelling that gets after that happens, I'm imagining that it's not fun.
No, not at all. So, now Xander's all done with the shop. He's stolen the bow, he's stolen the shovel, and he's, air quotes, bought 2 sets of bombs. And he's just rolling in money. Good lord. Now he's actually going to go buy a shot at the trendy game to get the magic powder early. And we'll use that in exactly 1 room.
And we sure need it. Because I might need it. My power keeps flickering on and off.
Dude, if you have to disappear, go on. Don't explode over there.
It's not gonna explode, but it's just like, you know, something's getting rained on pretty hard.
Yeah, the Transformer with acid rain, apparently.
Yeah, well, the Transformer's a block over, and it'll be fine here.
I mean, then it's fully capable of it being exploded.
Yeah, but it won't hit my house, so it's fine. Meanwhile, we got bomb triggers. I see both of them went for 2 sets of bombs. Not wasting some time to give themselves a lot of room for effort. A lot of room for error. 10 bombs is pretty tight.
It's safer with 20. There's never any real reason you should go for 10.
You're gonna lose a lot more time if you run out of bombs. And oh, Xander with a really quick bomb trigger right there.
Placing 2 bombs 4 frames apart in order to set off on a transition, which sets off any cutscenes in that other area.
Yeah, basically it tries to load a bomb exploding, and then because that's already happening, it tries to load the next animation in the index, and when you enter that page, the next thing in memory just happens to be that cutscene, so it's just like, hey, Terran's free now, hooray.
Not only that, but Xander went for pit walk and got it. Spice almost getting it, but the pit comes back to claim him. He's
got to go do it again, but yeah, that's done. Xander's probably won this race because he got pit walk first try.
Well, he's probably running pit walk Lua, and then he's just, forfeited by cheating.
Yeah, that is a frame rule dependent trick. It's actually not that hard if you get the frame rule. It's really random.
He's really the only person who goes for it, and it's a decent time save, I think.
It's a couple seconds.
I think it's like
make up for getting 2 bombs easily. And he gets the swag. Oh, almost gets the swag. Xander on a very good pace to run to start.
There's a lot of tricky movement in this, and there's also, the standard tricks, just breaking the game over our knee like Batman and Bane.
I mean, we don't really break it that hard, considering how hard we could break this game.
I mean, deloading is pretty hard to me.
You're not really deloading anything, because nothing loads in the first place.
That's the point of deloading. You prevent it from loading.
No, deloading would be the same as unloading.
Alright, look. It's not despawning.
The same prefix meanings.
Anyway, that's a super jump. We tricked the game into thinking that it's we're on a ledge and we just fall down it, because all of the walls in this dungeon are ledges.
Yeah, this game has a z-axis that's a 1 or a 0, and in this version of the game, Link's y-coordinate changes with the jumps, but like Z's offset it. But since he's next to that ledge, if he's clipped in enough, he'll just, be on a ledge.
And now here's Moldorm. Worst boss in the game.
I've heard in the Switch remake you can shoot him with bomb arrows.
Oh, please. Please. It takes 4 hits to kill him with the sword. Spin slashes count as 2. And he dies.
Yeah, in an ideal Moldorm fight, I think you might want to try to enter the room with a charged sword, immediately get it, and then slash twice, but if you miss, there's a lot of recoil on a spin slash, and you might just... it's not going to be happy.
And if you fall into the pit, you go all the way through this 2D section. If you jump out of that pit when you fall into it, you wrong warp if you're playing a certain version of the game.
If you're playing the 1.0 version, I didn't see what their trendy game was. You can tell whether or not it's 1.0 based on whether or not the fox by the trendy game is placed in a certain area.
I mean, at this point, it doesn't really matter. The only other time we'll see it is in D7.
Yeah, it's basically to prevent yourself from wrong warping in D7 and to possibly not lose time or take damage when you're going to trendy game, because the fox is in a really bad spot by trendy game. Some people run 1.1, but that's like the difference.
It's maybe like a half a second difference or something.
Wash. Like, it's half a second faster if you run slower if you run 1.1 and get ideal everything, and like it's maybe slightly faster in 1.1 if something bad happens. It's definitely faster if you mess up Moldorm. So some people like that extra safety, especially in races, because half a second's not really gonna matter, but the 4 or 5 seconds or 10 seconds you're gonna lose to falling in Moldorm, that's a lot.
Or DQ even. Because it's basically muscle memory from LADX to just hold jump when you fall down the pit.
I'm pretty sure my muscle memory is to push Control R and reset my emulator and start the run over.
So this is Moblin Cave, and right now Xander's fighting King Moblin. A couple of spin slashes, he's done.
I find the way that he did that interesting. Most runners will go to the other wall because you're closer, but I guess it gives Xander a little bit more things to do because Moblin King...
he has to die anyways.
Yeah, he's got to die. It takes so long. Spice getting a better Moblin King. He got 3 additional slashes in on the first phase.
But oh no! You opened your mouth!
Suck it, Spice. He's got 8 health, and you can get 5 hits in on the first phase. This is the part where Standard might lose a bunch of time, but nope, Bow Wow eats. Bow Wow is crazy RNG.
Honestly, I don't think this is a Capcom Zelda. The only Capcom Zeldas are Oracle.
No, this is not a Capcom Zelda. This was originally... the project was originally Nintendo trying to port A Link to the Past to the Game Boy. Because everything got ported to everything back then. And then it evolved into its own thing.
And if I may be slightly biased in the first part of your question, the best 2D Zelda to run right now, I feel, is LADX or Oracle of Seasons, because just of Rooster Adventure.
Yeah, Rooster Adventures, like... Oracle of Seasons, like, just stops being a game at some point. Like, there's just no more... You just make roosters happen. LADX is definitely, of the games that use this engine, it's... with the rule sets we have in place, because this game is hilariously busted. Another instance of arrows being just completely broken. There's just a lot of... You're always doing something. There's always something to talk about. There's not slashing your sword in the air, waiting for sounds to happen.
And for example, of things that need to happen, we just cause those ghosts to kill themselves off screen.
Yeah, basically the room checks as to whether or not there's enemies in it to spawn its completion item, which is, or open doors, which is something that's going to be very useful later. And when those ghosts leave, the room is just like, hey, because it periodically checks. And it's like, hey, there's nothing here, I guess we're gonna spawn the bracelet.
Because everything's dead. And that's the criteria.
Ghosts leave the screen for whatever reason, like, you wouldn't be able to do anything in that room, so that room might be specifically coded, I don't know.
Well, I don't know. So, we dropped all of our powder at the beginning of D2 in order to get the mushroom, which Xander has already done and Spice is doing right now. The mushroom is also broken, which is very nice.
It's a shame it can't be used in like any LADX categories for more than 10 seconds because it's slow. You have to use it to get into D2, or well, to get past the first room in D2.
Darn shame. So now that Xander has opened up a warp point on the island, he's going to be heading down south to D3. Now, because this category is warpless and we just opened a warp, we should explain that warpless means no wrong warps. Or, you know, no super swimming, as we furiously discussed prior to beginning the commentary.
You don't have to do wrong things while super swimming.
It just says no super swimming.
Yeah, there's a bunch of rules that are just like, and all of our category titles are bad because we just ban random things, and all of our out of bounds rules are arbitrary. Warpless is basically like a no major glitches category. There's no real major glitches that we're doing that completely destroyed the game, other than one, but that's only because it's better.
It's better this way.
We don't go out of bounds while doing it, and it doesn't look like it would break the game, but unlike a lot of Zeldas, there's not very many flags you have to clear to get to the next part. You just need keys and items, and if you can circumvent the items that Nintendo wanted you to have, you can do whatever you want. Because
like a Zelda game.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but the final boss is locked behind all 8 instruments, so we do have to get those. But there are flags, you know, meant to get you items to enter and exit dungeons, like roosters that we'll never see.
Or, you know, frog songs of souls.
Yeah.
So, having used the mushroom to fall down a pit into the next tile, which happens to be solid, getting a feather, which turned out to be a key, or leaf, my bad, we're going to be killing a lot of enemies here in D3.
Yeah, there's an item that, depending on your heart count, right now it's 30. If you kill 30 enemies in a row, it drops an item called a piece of power, which makes Link faster, doubles the damage on his sword, and more importantly, makes the music awesome for a little bit.
Knockback as well, but no one needs to know about that.
Yeah, no one needs to know about that. It does increase iframes, which means it's not always beneficial to have. Specifically, on bosses that we may or may not be seeing in this run.
Will not be seeing, because if we see it, they're going to be saving quitting out of that fight.
What if they decide to get the hookshot, though?
Then that's too far, even for Spice.
Okay, so Xander's going for some some dumb strats.
I don't even think that's dumb strats. I think that's stew strats. But he failed, so he's gonna go
he fails
inside.
it, so he goes for the backup. I called them dumb because everything in Stew is stupid now. You just skip everything by bouncing off of objects.
In fact, no, hold on. That's old Stew, too, because now they just can skip.
Yeah, now they bump off a thing.
So, we didn't explain it the first time, but it turns out that you could super jump off that corner, tink off those dodongos, and thus dong skip is born.
We didn't explain flaw cliffs, which are coming up.
We didn't explain a lot.
What? It's kind of what makes Villa Skip work with the mushroom, is that it opens a text box. Text boxes are broken, and that when they happen, Link kind of gets shoved a little bit. And so we can use it to like shift into corners and just kind of get around hitboxes. And so we have Slime Eye here. Xander going for the fast strat of leaving his sword out. It's a little bit more difficult if you have muscle memory for the old timing, but it's definitely faster.
Very nice kill. It sucks when you have to do that without a piece of power.
Yeah, well, as long as you break the first phase, and we're going for the first actual major glitch, which is ICS. ICS, you pick up the instrument, and then the game flags it as the instrument's in your inventory, but a lot of other flags don't end up getting set when you clear the dungeon. Like, this owl is supposed to come here when you get that instrument. Sanders jumps straight into water. But certain other dungeon clearing flags don't have time to get set, which is relevant somewhat later if someone decides to go on a portal adventure.
Even then, it's relevant because we can't do ICS or instrument cutscene skip on Dungeon 1, otherwise the whole event with Bow Wow being kidnapped by the moblins just doesn't happen and you can't progress throughout the game.
We need that unless we want to be really lucky with a shovel and despawn some flowers or prevent them from loading. Preventing things from loading, because this game has pretty low max unit count. And it's very abusable, because sprites are units, sounds are units, everything's a sprite. Everything is something you can attack, you can kill cutscenes.
Well, we can't. Something on this screen can.
It's something that makes everything terrible, but not in this run, because you don't ever have a chance to accidentally hook shot clank with it.
No, you could still softwalk on this screen. So, Xander taking a bunch of damage, because he's going to go do something terrible in a little bit, but first he's going to do a bomb trigger to get this walrus off the screen. Now, if he stays on this screen for too long, a rabbit will come along and he'll prevent Xander from moving or doing anything. Which sucks. Yeah. So we have to do that pretty precisely. And now Xander's going to go kill himself for forcing a walrus to drown.
Yeah, so basically, the cutscene locks you out of all your buttons, but you regain control of your arrow, like your D-pad, for a little bit. And if we can get off the screen before it locks them up, the reason why we want to leave is that cutscene starts, there's supposed to be Marin, and then this rabbit and Marin are supposed to leave the screen. And when that happens, basically the game's like, hey, are there 0 other actors on the screen other than Link? Okay, Bow Wow's there, so you just get locked there. You can't do anything or get out of it in any way. So when we transition out, we have our D-pad, and we use that to move and die, so we can get back all of our other buttons as well.
We can also enter a cave that's on one screen right of where spicefather is right now.
Then we can't skip an owl.
Well, we could do it in other categories.
Yeah, but that's not fun. Owls suck.
Alright, look here, you. Your job is to explain the game, not to explain the game in a biased way.
Complaining that owls suck?
You can't discount everything else. Yeah, shack jumps are amazing.
They're not as... They're more useful than super jumps, but they're not because they're only usable in very select locations that require, like, a push block.
A push block?
Of some kind. Basically one of these blocks that are... Like, you can see them in dungeons, they look like that. Outside of dungeons, they look like the frickin', like, ottoman.
You can also do it off of key blocks, I think, because you can do one on D6. You could do 2 in D6, my bad.
Yeah, basically, like, just objects. And it lets you do an unclip super jump, and it makes that fast. You don't have to do an unclip super jump.
But it's cool.
It is cool, it's faster, and this is dumb jump. They removed that in the Switch version because they pushed the blocks back, and then added 2 more. But menus in that game are probably fast, so it doesn't matter.
Xander has typed in chat, which means I think I know what's about to happen.
He's about to die.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't have a lot of health.
Oh, he got a hard... How disappointing. Meanwhile, Spice is coming up to his dumb jump.
Usually Xander rages harder than that.
I don't know, oof in the middle of a run seems pretty hard to me. But that was Cue Ball. Cue Ball's dead. We'll see him later. And we got a flipper.
You only need 1. Yeah, did you see the size of it? Link can fit his entire torso in there.
It's the mermaid suit from the Oracles games.
Basically.
So now we're gonna do a
It took me so long as a kid to figure out how to actually move as the mermaid. I just didn't, like, realize for the longest time that I was just supposed to be tapping the direction I needed to go.
So Xander just did a sweet-looking set of super jumps in order to get to where the D4 boss key is, having us avoid any real 2D section aside from this boss area. And what boss? We'll grab our little fish fillet of a heart.
But he didn't say hi to Cravone.
We're saying hi to Cravone for him. Shoutouts to Cravone Gaming for teaching us the glory of the fish.
What do you mean you can't hook shot down? And that's why his corpse is at the bottom of the angler cave.
And Xander getting another instrument cutscene.
Uh-oh! Okay, well Spice saved an arrow there.
Spice knows what he's doing.
He didn't fire the bomb arrow quite right, and luckily the anglerfish just fell into the bomb. You actually saw one of his attacks, which is to summon more fish.
I'll point out that I'm pretty sure he didn't fire his arrow right is not actually true. He just didn't fire his arrow.
I meant to say right away.
He knows what he's doing.
No. He didn't do it.
Oh.
And not firing it's not firing it correctly.
So now Xander's going to be heading up the mountain, and if you remember this game as a kid, after you beat D4, normally a ghost appears and prevents you from doing anything else because he's a greedy bastard. Yeah,
but first obstacle skip. Xander gets it, so his run's cool.
Oh yeah. So now we're not going to be leaving the mountain range for a while.
Yeah. Because they both got ICS, right?
I know Xander did.
Yeah, so I think they did because the time difference looks about the same. So Dungeon 4 ICS, one of those flags doesn't get set, the ghost doesn't spawn. So we won't see him, no matter what.
But if you did fail that instrument cutscene skip,
we do have a backup.
It's kind of required.
It's only not required if you want to lose time.
Yep. And a couple of very neat super jumps right there, and that is Rooster Skip. So instead of grabbing the hook shot and doing a whole bunch of frame-perfect jumps, or jumping across and using the
shovel
pits
and some
to
boots.
fall into the wall, and then using shovel and boots to jump across.
Or finding, a mushroom, or finding the rooster, any of that stuff. We do that.
It's helpful.
It's named after the fact that the other skip sucks, and we don't want to do it.
I think it's perfectly fine.
I like early Rooster Skip with the boots and the shovel way more than the actual
You're a
one.
heathen.
It's so much better!
And that's an application of the mushroom yet again. We could just open the save and quit menu, or is it a menu, or it has to be the save and quit menu?
I think it has to be the save and quit menu.
So we open that and we can just fall down to the first walkable tile.
Meanwhile, cutscenes are sprites. That heart, Bow Wow killed the cutscene. And we got a heart for our troubles. Because cutscenes have a drop table, which is hilarious.
And now D7.
Xander going for a little bit of a finicky super jump. He wants to do it at the absolute last moment you can do it.
Otherwise you just
hop
get
right up on the switch blocks.
Yeah, you get stuck in between otherwise. And now, you remember bomb triggers from earlier. Well, we kill that Zol because that's a required kill.
Yeah, because that is, for whatever reason, the next animation for all 4 of these rooms is that Zol spawning. But if we kill it, then it becomes breaking towers in each of the rooms. Oh!
He fell! He pulled a knee!
Oh, that's bad!
No, it's fine.
It sucks, though.
See, it's fine.
I know, but, like...
And he got caught by the like Spice is getting back and just...
Yeah, but that's
the racing range.
Xander. And
Xander knows what he did.
Spice not going for a slam dunk, even though he teased me with it earlier.
So Spice found that
well,
you
he
can
decided
pick
to
up
do. There's a difference there. He incorporated a shack jump with a This bomb trigger could be the difference in
Spice is now in the lead.
It's all about that tilt
Nico.
factor.
Spice is leading by like what, 5 seconds now?
About, yeah. But it doesn't really matter, because this next trick coming up is garbage. It's one of the reasons why some people kind of hate this category in particular, because it's required. So this is Goomba Surf. You have to clip into that wall 1 pixel, and then wait for this nice Goomba guy to move over to the right.
This is not happening for Spice, but does happen for Xander.
And they're even.
Good God!
But Xander had to menu, so he's behind now.
And Xander had to go back into the tower really quick. So because we skipped the text on this boss, we could see the... what is it? The
Grim Creeper.
Grim Creeper.
And you know, I should change the audio, but we have another ICS coming up after this, and I don't want to have to do it.
No, we're waiting. We're waiting.
We'll wait.
Especially because Xander appears to have missed it.
Oh wait, is Evil Eagle dead for you?
Yeah.
Well, no, he just died, but...
I'm saying because I see Xander typing in chat.
Xander did not get ICS, and...
Spice did!
Spice did.
That's the audio!
So, yep.
I switched it.
I also switched it.
Stop stealing my job.
It's my job, too.
So, now Spice is going to be running over to D8. Like I said, we're not leaving the mountain range until we're good and sure that that ghost isn't going to come and get us.
Yeah, so, because Warpless is really just a name that this category has, because you're not really, it really means nothing overall. There are a bunch of rules that say no transitioning from a solid tile. If you happen to warp to another screen from not a solid tile without using the screen scroll trick by transitioning and pushing select, well, that's okay. And as long as you don't enter another system, this game has an underworld and overworld. You can go... The overworld is obviously like the map. Right now, Spice is in the underworld, which if he gets up onto the ceiling, he could, in theory, just go to any dungeon he wants to, if he tried hard enough. Meanwhile, they're doing a terrible jump, but...
This is the pit which kills.
Yeah, but that distinction of, as long as you stay within the same system, and where at the time... You transition. Okay, so Spice is backing it up. He's got a mushroom twice. And he gets the jump.
He remains in the lead.
Yeah, that almost cost him a lot of time.
The sweat's forming on his brow as he
It sure did cost him like
50
seconds, because...
I mean, it doesn't matter. It's fine. Xander's quickly behind him.
Yeah.
I will point out that neither of these guys use the safer method of using the... shovel and boots to just do a dash jump there.
Yeah, but that's the coward's way out, Matt. Why would you want to be a coward in front of tens of people?
Oh, why wouldn't you got a raft in front of tens of people?
Well, because he wants to win the race. He can't let Europe win every
we have to have one non-European person rank in this tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a lot of sprites.
American, so he gets the USA chance.
There's a lot of sprites that don't work well when Bow Wow's on the screen.
Yeah, because Bow Wow itself is 5 sprites or 6.
Is it? I think it's just 5. Because there's 4 links and then there's Bow Wow himself.
Well, because you got the chains.
Yeah, that's 4.
Yeah.
And then Bow Wow's 1, so 5.
Yeah. For some reason, I thought when you said 4 links that you were talking about Link, and I'm just like, what? That doesn't make any sense. And yeah, you have the boot stash particles. Here's side block pushing. It's pretty cool.
We love it. Makes things so easy sometimes.
But anyway, my explanation of dungeon systems and arbitrary rules that don't make any sense is coming up soon. As we're going to see another shack jump pretty shortly. Spice has to re-clip into that wall.
Well, I don't think he was ever clipped in the first place. But now he's going to do a little bit of lava jumping.
I like the swag boots that you can just get
like
in,
the fastest pattern here.
Yeah, well, it's possible in Link's Awakening, it's not possible in DX at all to make that cycle.
The timing's much worse. But we just skipped
the
boss.
But so we have a fire rod. Fire rod does a lot of things.
The magic rod, sir. We're not going to start this argument.
No, I will. It shoots fireballs and puts out Hothead because he has too much fire.
I'm going to cut your internet again.
It makes this ice magically not cold, so it goes away.
Man, there can be magic fireballs. You know what else magic fireballs can do? They can prevent things from being loaded in.
Yeah, so, turns out when you open the pause menu on the same frame that you, like, use the fire rod, it just keeps playing that sound effect until, like, it can't make any more sound effect and then keeps trying to do more. And when you do that through a transition, you kind of drag some of that stuff with you because, you know, it's coming along with Link. And what ends up happening there, and, what ends up happening is that it can't load. It can't. Sorry, it can't load anything else. So it's just like, hey, all right, this room is clear. Let's go.
All the memory is occupied. So
well, it was occupied by the part where I wanted to explain the part where they just got the level 2 bracelet. So when I was explaining system transitions and all that other good stuff earlier, was to lead up to that. And basically, that room is inside of D8, and the chest ID is kind of corrupted. It's still the It's the power bracelet.
Level 2 power bracelet, which is
well, no, it's any power bracelet. If you go there, you get a level 1 power bracelet. If you don't have a power bracelet, it's like you've never played Rando and wouldn't know these things.
All right, look, I've played Rando. I've played just as much Rando as you have. I just don't like to remember it.
But yes, if you pick up any power bracelet, you get a level 3 power bracelet if they really try. Dragon almost got it earlier in the tournament.
Oh, grand.
He almost went there because he forgot what the route was.
No, he didn't know what the route was to begin with.
That's also true, but he just forgot that he wasn't supposed to go get the level 2 bracelet. But anyway...
This is Lag City.
So, because we didn't spawn the mini-boss, when you enter that room from the top, you're not supposed to, and if you open the save and quit menu, the game sort of freaks out and sort of just transitions the whole screen down, even though you're not standing on a solid tile. And so you're not standing on a solid tile, and you're literally just kind of zipped to the bottom of the screen as it's scrolling. And so that's legal, because while you transition back onto a solid tile, well, that's fine. We just can't transition from a solid tile. And that is the definition of some arbitrary garbage.
Alright, look, it works, We didn't finish Turtle Rock, because it's actually faster to go back later and do it, because of the overworld routing.
It has a very convenient warp in the middle of it that is very good for us.
We should also mention that we haven't finished D2 either. Because, once again, convenient overworld.
Convenient overworld and the fact that not having to, you know, do certain things in D2 if you come back later saves a hell of a lot more time. Meanwhile, Spice with a very voracious Bow Wow.
And a lead that's thinner than the edge of my knives.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they're like a screen apart, man.
I mean, but that's a weird analogy. Maybe you should get better knives.
How thin do you want your edges to be, man?
I mean... You just said the opposite. Anyway.
You're losing the point. We're gonna prevent this cutscene from loading.
Yeah. It can't do anything. We could have Bow Wow eat it. Some people still go and do that, but the fire rod's faster.
You need to feed the dog. And D6 is the dungeon that has literally nothing in it.
Yeah.
Supposed to be a tile room there, we don't care.
There's just tiles on the floor. They're pretty. They don't get up or talk to you ever.
We're supposed to have some whiz robes and flying thing of arrows. Don't care.
I've never seen those.
Yes, you have, and you hate them. Everyone hates them.
Never get early piece of power in this dungeon, even in DX. Bow Wow is way too mean to me by eating too many things.
They're now on the same screen. And we're just gonna throw a pot at the chest and open it.
Yeah, so, that prevents all actors from loading. So, like, you'll still see, like, pots and stuff, but you won't really see.
You know, things like hint tiles, enemies.
Yeah, not things like hint tiles. No, it does despawn pots. It despawns. There's a shack jump off a key block.
I love it.
It despawns the elephant statue in that room, or it doesn't load. That was okay. I understand what. Well, it's there in DX. I don't remember if it's there in LA. I haven't seen that room in a really long time. And we don't have to fight bosses anymore.
What boss? Oh, Spice didn't get ICS. Oh god. Xander did not.
No. It looked like they were both early. You could kind of see that they were a pixel high. He tried to buffer it slightly differently. But Xander's execution has been a little bit more solid than Spice's. He's been making up a lot of the time he's been losing.
Nico, yeah, totally. We got on the phone with Miyamoto, and we totally had him put everything in the game. Not only that, we also have, like, 3 different dog houses now.
Oh yeah, well, we have, like, 5 right now. It depends on how many enemies you kill.
No, I mean 3 separate dog houses that lead to the other dog houses.
Well, I mean, if you want to get technical about it, we already have that. You just have to try hard enough and hope.
Yep, the bubble gum and scotch tape the game together just
Anyway, this is the best dungeon in Link's Awakening because we don't do any of it.
Oh, it's so nice not doing any of this.
This dungeon is horrid. Helmasaurs are...
Helmasaurs are awful, Catfish's Maw is awful, Keys are awful, Master Stalfos
The music is also the weakest dungeon music in this entire game. Like, this game has some great music, but of all the dungeons, I'd say this one is kind of the worst.
You get to hear all of the mini-boss music, though. Over and over, I'd say about 5 times, casually.
Well, depending on what they decide to do, we might hear a lot of them. Oh wait, no, because it skips it too.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, well, it depends if they decide to, what they decide to do with, this room coming up.
I mean, there's only one thing that either of them do.
Well, yeah. But you could be Dragon and kill Master Stalfos, and then just listen to, the mini-boss.
But neither of our runners are Dragon. So, now we're gonna make an amendment. Normally, we'd need the hookshot to go finish this dungeon, period. We're braver than that. We believe in the power of our own feet and feathers.
And you can try this at home. Unlike any version of this game.
And Spice going for the French method does not make it. Makes it the second time, though.
Jump is the worst. Xander going for the method that he teaches in his guide.
And he gets it second try. Which means the pace is still right where it was beforehand.
There are really not a lot of places to make up time. Now that's an interesting preventative load, and I just say that because if you go in there with the sword still on, if the Stalfos are in the right place, you get a spin slash, it's a little bit faster to do that, and then switch the fire rod. This is a room I'm happy is gone.
I mean, I normally just do 3 shots, this room is dead. It's not that bad of a room, honestly.
No, it's not.
The Stalfos room is worse.
I like the Stalfos room more.
And Xander has taken back the lead by inches.
Or has he?
Nope!
Spice got it.
Spice maintaining.
You can see if the instrument zips as they exit the menu, whether or not they got it.
I will point out that the biggest meme spicefather could do for this entire tournament would be to win at the very end.
That, you know, yeah.
There is no better meme in my eyes.
Xander, type it in chat. Could have had a thick gold.
The thickest gold.
That's gross. Why would you say something like that?
Well... So, coming up here, you're going to notice that we have not been picking up heart containers. That's because the heart containers don't exist if we prevent them from loading to begin with.
Yeah, if the boss doesn't show up, then the room is just like, hey, is there a boss or, like, an object in here that isn't Link? Okay, doors open, have a fun day. And so we don't get them anymore.
And technically, what Xander is getting right now would be the last heal of the game.
Spice not getting it. He's confident in his 3 hearts. Unless he's planning on fighting Hothead.
Or he could go and get the heart containers that are in D2. And I think Spice got Wing? No. Not even. Boo.
Either way, it would still put him in a bit of a lead, depending on whether Xander got
Xander got it. That lead is now very, very close.
Yeah, it's about 5 seconds.
And having finished D8, D2 is the final dungeon of the game.
As is the normal. Remember,
as
when you're counting, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 6, 5, 8, or no, 1, 3, 4, 7, 6, 5, 8. I'm really bad at numbers.
No, Alpha. Here, let me help you out. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 6, 5, 8, 2. That's how you count.
Alright. I'll believe it. I think Xander's tilted. He's not doing any of the swag that you normally see over those. Spice trying to get the really good shot onto the, You can shoot through moving tiles. Xander also going for it, getting the backup. That room sucks. It just likes to troll you.
I really appreciate the fact that Spice and the Stalfos are just trading shots at each other behind cover.
It was pretty good.
It's like a game of Payday.
Here's one of the reasons why going back to D2 later is faster.
Having Boots and Feather just allows you to jump if you're in the air.
And
sometimes.
Here's the obvious second reason.
Goodbye, Genie. Your wish was broken.
You can't break your bottle if it doesn't spawn!
Eat it!
But didn't get the ice, yes!
Which means Xander might have a lead here. Yes, he does!
He got it.
By barely. But that means he's gonna take the lead.
Though, so it's a bit... See, he didn't gain 15 seconds, though. He only
didn't
gained
get the meaty.
About 5. So this is still anyone's race, depending on if, Well, actually, no, I'm just gonna call it down to Deathel, and whether or not they accidentally mess with this bomb trigger. And we're gonna be quiet now, because this is time for the national anthem.
So, to answer your question, Nico, playing it in Allegro actually saves time. But now here's the Windfish to me. Normally you have to get the magnifying lens, go read a book in the library, but it turns out that there's a default.
I hope this stays in the remake. Just, not necessarily even this path, but just like a default. So Xander gets the bomb trigger. This is very important. So, we don't have the powder to kill the blob. And so, there are now 100% consistent setups to get blob quick kill if you get that bomb trigger. They both did a slightly different one. But, so basically what ends up happening here is, because if you get blob quick kill, we know the exact frame rule that we're on, or like just frame in general. And because of that, there is a way to 100% manipulate Aghanim. As long as you always just hold your sword out and move to the correct positions, which Spice made an app to do this. It's kind of ridiculous.
Would that technically be cheating if he made the app?
Well, I mean, he gave it to everybody, and technically you could just memorize, like, all 82 positions, which people would do, but it's lazy. And then we have Moldorm quick kill. You gotta slash him a bunch. Here's
Spin slash to lock him in place and then lock him, and then slash him.
Yeah, and then you just have to remember to stop slashing him. Just because you can slash him forever.
And he can die, which means you don't win the game. Yeah,
you just sit in the room because it never spawns the final boss, which is Deathel. And this is what's going to decide the race. Deathel is the only bit of RNG we cannot manipulate.
He opens his eye whenever he wants, however he wants.
And we're gonna see Spice is the first person to get the eye open.
Oh, and it's a double!
I think he's only on 7 hits, though.
He is. Oh, forget that. He's on 13 now. 11 now, I think.
He needs 3 more and he wins this race. Oh, wait, no.
One more.
It was 11. You said 13, and I got confused. This is a super nasty Deathel for both of them.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. He's gonna win this. It's gonna be Spice.
The man with the meme and a dream takes the race!
What a garbage boss!
Time is actually when the screen fades to white at the top of the stairs.
That's a fun thing that exists. It exists, but Xander, did you miscount?
Oh no!
Xander's gotta go do bombs.
Oh no! He went for it. Oh no, Xander!
Xander miscounted and I think tilted.
You put up a good fight, brother. You did your best. No regrets.
Oh boy, I wonder if either of them knows that they were in the lead, like, or thinks they're in the lead because of how bad that Deathel was. That was a special Deathel for everybody.
Yeah. So let's do some marking, shall we? Done. Forfeit.
Let's get him in here for some interviews.
Oh, there's Xander. Hello, Xander. How are you?
I don't know.
Would it make you feel better if Spice had almost as equally bad of a Deathel as you?
Oh God.
He was...
Did he die though?
Did he run out of arrows? That didn't happen. He finished.
Oh yeah.
Although, to be fair, it did take about 20 seconds for his eye to open up for both of you.
No, well, Spice's was a lot faster.
No,
not gonna lie, it took me like 30 seconds twice.
It was really bad. Spice got the last open right before you did, and basically the second that happened, that's when you died. So.
Oh, Spice is remedying his mistake. He's doing it.
Oh no.
He's going to the raft.
So Spice promised us some spicy stuff, because he's Spice, obviously.
No, last tournament, in the race against me, someone had propositioned him to do raft against me in the race.
Fast bids, several times.
Fast bids was the exact words that we used. And he failed to do this while I did it once my run was done. So this is him remedying the mistake from a year ago.
But why doesn't he show back up and... He's gotta get into chat.
Oh, he's coming.
At least I got the D1 ICS. I bet Spice didn't.
Yeah, I was about to say, I got very scared when that happened.
That was some interesting stuff going on there.
So, you guys were pretty much within 2 screens of each other for the entire game.
Yeah, and you kept catching up, missing an ICS, then making up 15 seconds on Spice.
Like, you guys were high-fiving in D8.
Yeah,
D8 second part. That's how close it was.
It was a slow ICS that puts you like 2 seconds ahead of him.
But it was within, like, millimeters.
What a tilter.
My ending was quite something. First, I spent like 15 seconds looking for a fairy that's not there, instead of just grabbing the heart pickup. Then I just continue. I run out of arrows on Deathel, and I die.
What's he trying to despawn? Hello, Spice.
Hello.
Hello.
So I said around the end of D5, you know what the biggest meme would be is if you actually came back to win 3rd place.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised towards the end of D7 when Nico was saying sync, and I was like, oh, has Xander been doing that?
It was a
There was some
dead
missed
heat for a
ICSs that
majority.
you were
I
getting.
fell on the shack jump in D7.
Oh my god.
Oh, yeah, that happened.
And we may also mention that he ran out of arrows on death.
Ran out of arrows.
I ran out of arrows. Then I
Tried placing one
but I
bomb
died.
and then died while running away from the bomb.
He had a 10-second lead on you, like starting at Deathel, and then it stopped happening. He didn't
No,
open his
I probably
eye.
also lost like almost a minute to him not opening his eye.
Not the best RNG there either.
Yeah, yours was bad, his was worse.
So yeah, Jesus. What a third place match. You won't see this coming from the
I mean, to be fair, I don't think
runners on
either of
Friday.
us cared about this race.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's why I wanted sillier things to happen.
In my heart, we're both winners because we're both free of the tournament.
You're both
Exactly,
champions.
just like
Spice,
last
you
year.
get a solid bronze medal.
Yay.
But unfortunately you're not done with the tournament yet. You got one more job to do.
Not commentate anything?
No, you gotta put in the scores for the last race.
Oh, why can't you? You're gonna be there.
Because I'm gonna be calming probably.
Yeah, but I'm gonna be not home Friday night.
Ah, you slacker.
Just declare Vlack the winner, even though he lost earlier, and call it a day. It'll probably be fine.
Honorable
That's
mentions to everybody who participated in the tournament.
Shoutouts to Cravone again, for no reason.
And on that subject, hey
Oh,
Xander, how do you feel about the tournament now that you're free, liberated?
My soul is set free.
Is this the part where you debut your no wrong warp out of bounds task live on Speed Gaming 2?
No. It's midnight, come on. No, that will happen tomorrow night at to be determined time.
Yeah.
That's gonna
And
be pretty epic.
I don't know. How do you feel about the tournament, Mr. Co-moderator Spicefather?
I think it went really well. I had a lot of fun. I was just really tired today, and I was a dumbass and I stayed up until like 2 a.m. playing Sea of Thieves last night.
You know, I think I saw a lot of that because I woke up really early and you were still online.
Oh goodness.
That's...
And then the Kraken got us on the way back to port, and we lost absolutely everything. It was probably like 30 grand. It sucked.
You poor soul.
Oh my...
Oh god. Let's see. The memes that we had. Spice finally did raft. Falling in the shack jump pit. Alpha losing internet for most of D1.
Really?
Yeah, my
So
power like cut out.
I was tempted to do the ball strats in D7, but
I was upset at you. You didn't do
Yeah.
your slam dunk.
I thought we were still like too close. I didn't want to jeopardize my win.
It was
in fact,
a
you were.
fair assessment. It would have cost you everything.
Well,
It wouldn't have, because
maybe
Xander
not.
died.
But think of what could have happened.
No.
Xander could have been the winner, and his soul would be heavier with the bronze medal around his neck.
Alright, I blame the devs for putting in that ferry 5 years late.
Yes. Blame the devs, not you, for just getting the heart.
No, that was definitely not my fault. Not at all, no.
No, it's
I don't
just
know what
like
you're
you
talking about.
miscounting on the arrows, too. I believe you could have hit that bomb.
So do I. I think it
You
would have
just-
hit if I didn't die.
You just
Yeah,
needed a
I
potion.
think so too. Because like that's the first time Deathel's eye was wide open and it didn't look like it was closing anytime soon.
He was waiting for you. He wanted to die.
Memes.
So, any last thoughts, guys? Besides memes, the man with the memes with the dreams winning.
Yeah, Spice, the meme dream team father.
Okay, you are saying apart from memes, but one of the memes I did have, I don't know if you noticed, but Anglerfish, I accidentally placed a bomb when I did my menu there.
I said
Yes.
that was intentional.
I
Don't
came
you
s-
prove me wrong.
I came so close to pulling a mat.
I'll pick it up. What's this?
Hey,
What's
Matt,
going
remember that
on?
part where it said he fired his arrows wrong?
Matt's the new Cravone.
No.
I like the recovery that you waited patiently for the bomb to go off and hit anglerfish, and we actually got to see an attack.
Spice was calm and collected.
Yeah.
And besides, me dying at anglerfish didn't ever.
Your anglerfish was dropping a bomb, shooting all of your arrows to the left and right, and dying.
Because the game decided to eat the first arrow.
Why can't I hookshot down?
Look, I didn't do that at least. I died with honor and dignity trying to fight the thing with my sword. We had many good laughs. Mostly with you guys, partially at you guys.
Almost exclusively at you.
That was him. I'm nicer.
I expect nothing less
That's
from
what you
Alpha.
call a good person, unlike anybody else on the internet.
So, yeah, if that's all we got. What else do we have going on Speed Gaming today?
Well, up on Speed Gaming right now is Metroid Prime, Speed Gaming 4. Speed Gaming 5 has Final Fantasy going on, and Speed Gaming 3 more Final Fantasy is about to start.
Later on, we got some Luigi's Mansion on A channel somewhere.
Yeah,
we have the Link to the Past Randomizer qualifiers going on Speed Gaming 1. We got Magic the Gathering Arena. We got more Final Fantasy. And we have, once again, somewhere in the ether, a Mega Man 2 randomizer. And today I learned there's a Momodora tournament going on. That's pretty sweet.
Momodora is a pretty fun game.
Excellent speed tech. I love it. Mwah. So other than that, for Link's Awakening, if you want more, we have one final match. Well, technically multiple matches in one match, but one final face-off. It's going to be Seisei SR versus Alos.
And they're both French, so they're actually good at this game.
It's gonna be the French Revolution all over again.
Thank you, Alpha, for the high praise.
And that'll be happening at 3 p.m. EDT this Friday. And it's going to be a best of 3. So there'll be tears, there'll be laughter, there'll be Xander wishing he could go to sleep.
It's not that late.
There will be just a lot of fun.
So, other than that, I think that's all we got for today. So, I've been Venomet. If you guys would please go follow our runners. They're great people.
Don't follow me. I just talk about underwear on stream.
That's only an LADX.
Are you implying he's gonna play this game again?
Eventually, yeah.
Follow me, I only make poor choices.
I am not playing.
Yeah, go follow
Not
Alpha.
black
He's
and
gonna
white
go
ever again.
kill his date later.
Wait, what were you playing?
Said you're going to go kill your date later.
Oh, right, you were making me play some terrible game.
It's a fantastic game. Thank you very much.
Whatever, I'm gonna be streaming visual novels because Matt said so.
Nah, not only me, but Roar said so too.
Alright, but that's gonna do it for us. I'm
Thanks,
Alpha
you guys.
5.
I am Venomet.
We will see you Friday, hopefully, for our final race between Alice and Seisei.
Goodbye, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the race.